So today's video is going to be a bit different because usually I talk about medical information, but today I'm going to talk about 5 most bizarre medical cases, and I can promise you that you will question everything you thought you knew about human body. So let's start with the first one. But before that, don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell icon. Case 5. The man who was drunk even without drinking. Alright, so this case happened in 2013 in Texas, USA. A 61-year-old man walked into the hospital completely disoriented. His wife had been telling doctors, "My husband comes home drunk every single night." But the man had one thing to say in his defense. "Doctor, I swear I've never had a single drop of alcohol." The doctors didn't believe him. And honestly, would you? So they ran a blood test. After 2 to 3 drinks, most people's blood alcohol reaches around 0.05. But his level was 0.37. which is almost 7 times higher without a single drink. At this point, the doctors decided to put him in a controlled room with no alcohol, no outside food for 24 hours straight, and his alcohol still appeared in the blood. So here's what actually was happening. Inside his gut, there was a type of yeast called Saccharomyces cerevisiae, the same yeast which is used to brew beer. Every time he ate carbohydrates, that yeast was fermenting the food and converting it into alcohol. His intestines had literally become a brewery. This condition is called autobrewery syndrome, also known as gut fermentation syndrome. Think about this for a second. This man was telling the truth the entire time, and yet the whole world thought he was lying. After antifungal treatment and a strict low carbohydrate diet, he eventually recovered. Now let's talk about case number 4. The boy who never felt pain. Now the next story sounds like a superpower at first, but by the end, it's heartbreaking. There was a boy who became famous for performing on the streets. He walked on the burning coals, stabbed knives through his arms, and never reacted. People were amazed. They thought he was extraordinary. But here's the truth. He wasn't being brave. He simply could not feel pain. Not once, not ever. And when you think about what pain actually is, it is a neurological phenomenon which tells your body that something is wrong. The boy couldn't survive beyond 14th birthday due to jumping off a roof just to show off to his friends. He had no concept of danger because he never experienced the pain that teaches us what to avoid. Doctors later discovered that he had a rare mutation in a gene called SCN9A, which is responsible for carrying pain signals to the brain. In his case, those signals simply never arrived. This condition is called congenital insensitivity to pain. So here's the question I want you to sit with. Is a life without pain really a gift, or it is one of the most dangerous things imaginable? What's remarkable is that today, scientists are studying this condition to develop a powerful new painkiller. He never felt pain himself, but his story could one day help millions of people who suffer from it. Oh, this one is pretty interesting. Our case number 3. The woman with multiple realities. This next case will make you question reality itself. In Germany, a woman in her mid-30s was diagnosed with dissociative identity disorder. She had multiple personalities, 10 distinct identities, each with its own behavior, voice, and the way of being. But what made her case truly extraordinary was what happened to her body when her personality shifted. One of her personality was completely blind. Brain scans confirmed it, and her visual cortex was entirely inactive. She could not see a thing. Then another personality would take over, and suddenly she could see things perfectly. Her brain was literally switching states. EEG scans showed that each personality had a distinctly different pattern of brain activity, which means her mind was physically altering how her brain functioned in real time. Doctors are still studying cases like hers today, but what's already clear is this. We understand far less about the brain than we think we do. Okay, now let's come to our next case. But before that, I'm giving you a warning. You might think about this case while going to sleep tonight. So this case is about the family that could not sleep. In Italy, there was a family with a terrifying pattern running through their bloodline. At some point in the middle age, around 40 or 50 years of age, a family member would suddenly lose the ability to sleep. Not insomnia, not difficulty in sleeping, a complete and a total loss of sleep forever. The progression was always the same. The first few weeks brought anxiety and restlessness. By month 1, hallucinations sets in. By month 3, a full mental breakdown. And within 12 to 18 months, death. This condition is called Fatal Familial Insomnia. It's caused by prions. Now, they are nothing but misfolded proteins that progressively destroys the brain. specifically the thalamus, the region that regulates sleep. Once it starts, there is no treatment, no cure. What makes their family story especially moving is what they chose to do. They donated their bodies to science, hoping that future research might save others. They couldn't save themselves, but they tried to give that chance to someone else. Okay, now the last one. And this will absolutely blow your mind. The man who was pregnant for 36 years. In 1999, in Nagpur, Maharashtra, a 36-year-old man named Sanju Bhagat walked into a hospital struggling to breathe. His stomach was so huge that people on the street often asked him jokingly, "When is the baby due?" Doctors assumed it was a massive tumor and prepared for surgery. But when they opened him, they stopped cold. Inside his body was another body, a partially developed human fetus with limbs, genitals, hair, and bones. It wasn't a tumor, it was his own twin brother. This condition is called fetus in fetu. It occurs when one twin absorbs the other during early development in the womb, and the absorbed twin continues to grow inside as a parasitic mass. It is extraordinarily rare, with fewer than 200 documented cases existing worldwide. The surgery was successful, Sanju Bhagat survived and lives a completely normal life today. For 36 years, he had been carrying his twin brother inside him without knowing it. You see, the human body is one of the greatest unsolved mysteries we have. And sometimes the mystery gets so strange that even we doctors don't believe in it at first. A man whose body was producing alcohol, a boy who never felt a single moment of pain, a woman whose mind could physically rewire her brain, a family slowly destroyed by the inability to sleep, and a man who's been carrying his own twin inside him for 36 years. So let me know in comments which case hits you the hardest. And if you want a full dive on any of these cases, just comment full case. If enough of you ask for it, that's the next video. And if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe.